welcome back to our channel. I'm Michelle.
And for those of you that are new here, welcome to our channel. My name is Jessie.
And we are Momsoncrime. On this channel, we talk about everything true crime and paranormal. And it's Halloween week. Woo! Happy Halloween! So, we're going to talk about scary stories instead of anything true crime. But we've been doing paranormal and scary stories. So today, Jessie has a well-known, creepy, scary story for us. What are we talking about today?
All right, so today we are going to talk about the Amityville horror, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are very, very familiar with. So, I mean, it's Halloween. Why not? It's, what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So everybody knows what happened or, what Amityville is, but let's still talk about it. For those of you that aren't too familiar, so in the early morning of November 13th, 1974, 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr., he is also known as Butch. He murdered his whole family in their sleep with a .35 caliber rifle. So he killed his mom, Louise DeFeo, his dad, Ronald DeFeo Sr., and his 4 siblings, Don DeFeo, who was 18 years old, Allison DeFeo, who was 12 years old, Mark, 13 years old, I'm sorry, Mark DeFeo, who was 12 years old, and the youngest, John Matthew DeFeo, who was 9 years old. So they said growing up, his father, he was more of like the abusive kind. He was an abusive father, and his mother was very passive. And due to his dad's abuse and his troubled childhood, that led to substance abuse as an adult. So Butch, he was a drug addict, a drug user. He drank a lot, and he could barely hold a job during that time. One time he also lashed out at his father, and he threatened him with a gun. So, they don't get along. They don't see each other eye to eye. So on the night of the murder, Butch left work that day and went straight to a bar. Then he kept on calling home, I don't know, maybe just to check in or see what's going on. But nobody was answering. And I guess he was getting angry, irritated, or whatever. He was even complaining, at the bar, like, oh, they're not answering or whatever. And then he eventually left. And I don't know the exact time of when he left, but around 6:30 in the morning, he came back to the bar screaming and yelling, saying, "You got to help me. I think my mother and father are shot." So Butch and a group of people went to 112 Ocean Avenue, which was located near the bar. And they found his parents. They were dead inside the house. So one of Butch's friends, they called the cops. Then the cops came, investigated, went inside the house, and found 6 family members dead on their beds. They were shot with a rifle around 3:15 a.m. And the weird part is they were all positioned on their stomachs, like all of them. And they said there were no sign of struggle. So the parents, they were both shot twice, and the siblings, they were shot once. So, and then they even asked the neighbors, did you guys hear anything or whatever? What's weird is that the neighbors said, no, we didn't hear any gunshots, but all we heard was a dog barking. They said it was so odd. The dog was just barking and barking, but we never heard, like there were no gunshots or whatever. I mean, he was using a rifle. Rifles are loud.
Yeah, loud.
Yeah. So that was pretty weird, right?
Mm.
So then Butch, he was initially taken to the local police station for his own protection because he suggested while they were in the crime scene that the killings had been carried out by a mob hitman, Luis Fellini. So he said, I think this mob hitman person murdered my family. But then later on, they found that Fellini had an alibi. He was out of state during the murders happened. And then they told Butch about that. And then his story kept on changing and changing. Went to the point where he said that, oh no, it was my sister that killed my family. Like it was just so inconsistent. But then later on, he confessed to the murders, and his lawyer would later attempt to enter an insanity plea deal, claiming that DeFeo Jr. was guided by malevolent voices in his head. And he said that he was hearing voices and stuff. And he even told the investigators that I couldn't, once I started, I couldn't control. Like, I just couldn't stop. He said he just started shooting or something. And he said that he heard voices that his family or, specifically his parents, they were plotting against him. And I guess the voices were saying you have to kill them or else they're going to kill you.
Wow.
Or, So then he stood trial on October 14th, 1975, and he was sentenced to 25 to life in prison. So, but he kept on, when he was inside, his story still kept on changing and stuff. But yeah, so who knows? But what's weird is that on December of 1974, a few months later, a new family moved into the house, the Lutz family. So George and Kathy Lutz and their 3 children. So they purchased the house for $80,000. So of course it was a good deal. Like, oh, score, okay, it's a steal. But because of the house's history. Would you buy like a murder house, like something gruesome like that?
Never.
Yeah.
Not a chance. Never.
So they only lived there for 28 days after terrifying incidents allegedly forced them to flee. So they claimed that during their stay, or when they were in the house, they said they would see like green slime oozing from the walls, and even like the keyhole or something. Like, I was like, weird, I don't know. They even said like eyes peering into the house. Like they would just feel like there's like somebody or something just looking at them, or and then there were swarming flies like out of nowhere. Like there would just be flies in the house. One time they even said that they saw a pig with demonic eyes inside the house, and then it just disappeared. Like, it's so weird. And they would like have foul smell in the house, like just random, like weird. And George, the husband, even said that he witnessed his wife levitating in bed, like in the middle of the night, just levitating.
No.
I would be like, no. And George, the husband, he said that he would wake up every morning at 3:15 a.m., the exact time of the death of the DeFeo family. So every 3:15, he would just wake up and just wide awake, So of course they've had enough with like all these things that are happening or whatnot. So they asked for help. So Ed and Lorraine Warren, what are they? Like, they're known demonologists or
paranormal investigator demonologists are like world famous.
Yeah, especially back in the day, you know. So they called them and they did their investigations. You know, they went inside the house. They did like, I don't know, they did their thing, like do some seance or investigated or whatnot. And they said that the house is really, really haunted. The house is evil, right? So then, you know how they do it. Like they go in there, they have their equipments and stuff. They take pictures and everything. And they even have a picture of the house with a boy inside
that
the house
picture,
and looking through a bedroom, which is very,
I hate
very
it. That
creepy.
picture
This
scares me. That picture scares the ish out of me. It is crazy. His eyes are all glowing.
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah. And they said that no, during the investigation there were no kids in the house with them because of course they're doing an investigation. Why would they bring any kids, you know? So, but that kid appeared in this picture.
And they do say it looks like one of the boys that was murdered, right? One of the
Yeah, they said they believe it was one of the DeFeo kids that was just looking through. So then, you know, they asked for help and stuff. At one time, they even asked a priest to come and bless the house because they said, you know what, a lot of weird things are going on. We don't understand it. So the priest came, and while he was, you know, blessing the house or praying or spraying like holy water or whatever, he said that he heard a voice that told him, get out. And he even said that he felt like something or someone slapped him on the face. So the priest told them, you know what, don't stay in this house. If you guys have any family member or a place to go to just to be safe, just go there, you know. So one night they fled the house and they never returned. They just left. So throughout the years and, you know, stories and stuff, a lot of skeptics were saying that they made the whole thing up because they just want publicity, you know. And then there were like books written about the story, movies and stuff. But George and Kathy, they took a lie detector test and they passed. So, you know, but according to one of the children, Christopher, he said George brought the troubles to himself by dabbling into the occult and then amplified with a paranormal incidents, you know, that did occur to profit of books and movies about the house. So, but he said he exaggerated things, but the house is definitely evil. Like there really is something evil in the house because he said he did witness some shadowy figures in the house. And he said at one time he saw a shadow figure of a man that was going towards him and then just disappeared. So he said there were incidents like that, or like knocking on the door, or like, you know, like the windows just opening and closing, banging and stuff. But after they left, the house was sold. And so far, the new owners said that they've never experienced anything paranormal in the house. But the Lutzes, they stood by their story. Unfortunately, the couple, they divorced in the late 1980s. And Kathy Lutz passed away in 2004, and George Lutz passed away in 2006. But till their death, they said that all those incidents were true. So what do you guys think?
I mean, when you hear the story, I kind of felt like, I think they took advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they definitely knew where they were moving to. They knew the history of that house. Maybe they did see it as a payday, but maybe once they were in there, maybe they did experience something paranormal, because if the priest said it and Ed and Lorraine Warren both said it, and they're I mean, they're not fraudulent. You know what I mean? They were never. There's never anything that said that Ed and Lorraine Warren were fraudulent and they, you know, that they made anything up. So I don't know. I'm kind of. I think there's a little bit of both.
Yeah. So I think there really is something in the house, of course, like considering like the past, like what happened, you know. And I feel like George, since he's so into like those kind of things, I think he found, like you said, he found it as an opportunity and be like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get this house for a very, very good price. And then all these things are happening in there, and I'm very curious and I want to know what it is. And I think him doing like, you know, calling out spirits or whatever did not help as well. And I also believe that maybe in the books and the stories they were exaggerated a little bit, but I think it's real. Like the house was probably haunted or something because of what George did. Like he tried to summon spirits or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah. So I want to know, let us know what you guys think, if, you know, it's real or fake, or do you guys believe that the house is haunted? So to this day, the address has been changed. It's not 112 Ocean Avenue anymore because I guess the current owners or even like the previous owners, they were being harassed, or, you know, people knocking in the house. They want to look at the, you know, what's inside the house, if it's really haunted and stuff. So yeah. Well, that is our Halloween story for today, and we hope you guys liked it. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. Let us know what you guys think. What, you know, is it real? Is it fake? Is it exaggerated? You know, or both. But please don't forget to like and subscribe.
And also don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you're notified every time we upload. And also in the comments, let us know if you've ever lived in a haunted house. I would love to hear those stories. We could do a whole video even after Halloween on real stories from you guys. And also, you can also email stories to us if you don't want to leave it in the comments below. You can also email us at momsoncrime@gmail.com. And you can follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at momsoncrime. And that's all we have for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Bye!